Okay, we have Dr. James French of IICA who's coming to kind of wrap things up here for us. So if you could just hang in there for another few minutes, okay?
Very good. I think I congratulate you because you control ourselves in such a way.
Other purposes, climate change, and the uncertainties and the volatility that have come with that, all have increased greater instability or in terms of food production, food prices, and the effects on the economies. We also recognize very clearly the contribution of agriculture to development, and particularly rural development, and the potential impact of investment in the rural sector and in agriculture and the positive impacts that that can give. But we should be talking about food security and nutrition, as we've heard in this last panel. The levels of poverty within Latin America and the Caribbean are extremely high, in some cases reaching over 50% in some countries. Therefore, food security is not new in certain portions and certain parts of the population. The impacts economically, we've heard very clearly, of not investing in improving the conditions of poverty or reducing poverty and improving access to food by certain portions of the population are very great in terms of reduced productivity, increased cost of health. Therefore, I think the conclusion is clear from this meeting that we cannot not invest in agriculture and the rural sectors within the Americas. There is a great emphasis put into the need to invest specifically in agricultural research and innovative systems and development of innovative systems and getting research to the small producers to ensure that we have the impact in the rural areas that we hope to have. And that's been a challenge in terms of developing research products and getting them into the hands of the producers, the appropriate products. And we need more innovative systems, and we need cooperative programs, as it was mentioned by Dr. Price. But let me go back to something I think was another key message that came out of this meeting. The need to have, at the country level, a concise, comprehensive, as Dr. McCullough mentioned, food strategy, a food security strategy. And the complexities that implies in terms of how many different ministries, institutions, etc., that really need to be involved in the development of that strategy and implementation, the even harder part. And then a strategy then brings us back to the research as being one component of increasing production. It brings us back to the component of trade and having trade, the availability and potential of trade and free trade as one of the tools of ensuring adequate food for your population in your country. But the other aspect of that came out very clearly is the need to integrate small family producers into the market and the value-added chain as a means of increasing income, as a means of increasing employment, as a means of increasing access in the rural areas to greater amounts of food to ensure food nutrition. Many other issues were discussed today. The importance of public investment in the research, extension, services systems to ensure from the chain all the way from seed preparation to the markets and the final markets. The needs that were brought out by Dr. Schmidt-Huber in terms of having a comprehensive investment program across all the different areas and not just focusing on one in terms of the complementarity of that research and the impacts, the potential impacts. There's no one that's going to leave here today and say that we do not need to improve and increase public investment and private investment in the food sector. We can discuss where to put the money. We can discuss how to get the money. We can discuss how do we convince the national governments, the national institutions, to put food security as a priority within their own countries and to develop the strategies and put the money behind the investment processes that need to take place. To develop the institutional policies which will provide the incentives and motivations to ensure that we improve and increase private sector investment. These are the challenges. And just to finish, I think this review, to use, again, the favorite words of Dr. Borlaug, it requires action, action, action on all of our parts. Thank you very much.